thank you for clicking on this video, not just for me, but for yourself. Um, Welcome back, I guess, if you have seen some of my videos before. If you haven't, welcome. Um, I haven't been dropping videos, or I haven't dropped a video in the past, 3 days? Bro, tell me why as soon as I got done recording my video, my freaking mic broke. And my first thing to do is like get mad. I realized like I have not been getting upset that easily or upset that often as I used to. So my freaking mic broke, and I just brushed it off. I just told myself, we're just gonna order a new one. And I'm like, dang, but what about the videos? I could have made videos without a mic, but I just wanted good quality. And over the past couple days, I just been taking time out to better myself. I hope y'all had a great New Year's, by the way. Mine was great. I spent it with my nephew, so that was good. But, that's not what this video is about. But I did just want to, speak to y'all before I just get to talking. But the other day, maybe like 2 days ago, I took a poll on my Instagram and I just asked, what is more common, depression or anxiety? And I'll try to put that somewhere in here. I'll try to put the screenshot of it. And anxiety won, and that does not mean that depression is not important or that it's less severe. Just the people that actually did vote more voted anxiety. And I'm going to be posting more things like that because I actually am using this information that I'm asking you all about. So just make sure that you check out my Instagram. I'm going to be posting more polls, more things, because I really do take y'all feedback, and it's important to me, and it's always being used. But let's get into the video. So I know anxiety is very common, and once again, depression is also very common. For me personally, I think anxiety is what leads up to depression. But before we get into all of that, some people may not even know what anxiety is. And anxiety is just a constant worry or fear about things that happen in everyday life. So, for instance, people can have anxiety with a crowd of people or just in public, doing certain things in public, and it makes them feel anxious. So, like, if you ever felt that way, that's anxiety. And like, what does anxiety look like? Just being like super worried, super nervous, like if you can't sleep. And these all are common things that some people may have that don't even have anxiety. But like, if you can't concentrate, like your mind is always going, that is, stop sniffing, that is like forms and signs of anxiety. And I also deal with anxiety. I'm overcoming it because I've been working hard, and that's why I'm able to make this video. And I'm just doing more with myself that, would make me anxious, and I'm putting myself in those situations so that I can overcome my quote unquote anxiety. Like, I would be nervous in front of people, and just like my mind is always racing, and it was just kind of getting to a point where I'm like, I can't even comfortably live life because of anxiety or because of anxiousness. But just like something that I would say definitely helped me overcome, and is still helping me overcome anxiety, is starting a YouTube channel and finding a hobby. Like, the other day I took some videos of like some B-roll for my YouTube and for my Instagram. And I live downtown, and it was right when everybody got off work, and I went to go shoot some videos with my tripod, and everybody was just looking at me weird. And usually that's something that would make me anxious, but I just had to explain to myself that I'm doing this for a purpose. Like, this is actually being used. And then another thing with that personally is these people are going to forget who I am in the next 2 minutes. Like, they're going to see me right now and forget that it happened. But in our minds, we think we are more important than we actually are. We see ourselves in a certain way, and we think other people see us that way as well. Like, people may see you, look at you for a second, and then they forget about you. But our minds are so focused on us that we think, oh my goodness, these people are going to remember me, they're going to talk about me, and that's not even the case. So how to overcome anxiety, how to actually overcome anxiety, and these are my thoughts and how I overcame it. First, I would say stay in the word, stay connected to God. God says in Philippians 4:6, do not be anxious, but in everything with prayer and petition, present your request to God. And I actually have that written. I can't show y'all now, but I actually have that written on my refrigerator on a dry erase board, and I read that every morning because I know I once dealt with anxiety. Another thing, like I said, is just putting myself in situations where I would usually feel anxious. If you put yourself in those kind of situations, your subconscious mind is going to force itself to think like, okay, now we're comfortable in these type of positions, we're comfortable around these kind of situations. So I would definitely say that helped for me, and I'm going to try to stop saying I'm actually working on my speech as we speak, because I get nervous and I start saying and like a lot, and that's something I'm trying to overcome. So if I do say and like a lot, just ignore it. Like, with me, I didn't even know what anxiety was or where my anxiety was coming from. So like I said in one of my previous videos, a lot of things come from childhood trauma or things that we may not think of. So things that triggers anxiety is, childhood, what is it called, adolescence, things like that. In those periods of times, things happen where your anxiety starts from, and it's triggered from that spot. So anytime anything that happened in that moment triggers your anxiety. So I just like to question myself. I always spend time with God and just think about things that I didn't feel comfortable with when I was a kid, and think about how that could still be affecting me now. There we go again. But right. That's what I learned though. Like, some of these things that people deal with to this day are things that happened when they were a child in their upbringing. And you don't think about that because it was so long ago that you continue to face and continue to face and continue to face the same problems, whether it's different situations and or scenarios. And I believe that you can overcome your anxiety. A lot of people like to speak that over themselves, like, oh, I have anxiety. Oh, it's just my anxiety. And they just think it's so normal until they're dealing with it. Then it's like, oh, I'm always anxious, because that's because you are speaking that over yourself. Even though I do get anxious, and even though I have dealt with anxiety, since I've been overcoming it, I have not accepted that. I've just been saying, oh no, I don't have anxiety, or oh, that's just something anxious that's being brought upon me, but I do not accept that. And it just forces me to think differently, feel differently, believe differently, live differently. And I can definitely see that that's been, um, a point of reference as to something that I can tell people. Like, do not claim that. I think we get so caught up in claiming things that happen in our life. Like, one of the main things that I'm trying to get over saying is, if something bad happened, I know I'm so used to saying that's the story of my life, when actually that is not the story of my life, because God has a better story for my life, and the story of my life does not revolve around a bad situation, because my life is not bad. God has called me his. God has called you his. We are chosen. We are his children. So in moments like that, you really have to think, like, what is it that I'm claiming? You speak life over yourself, not death. I pray that you gain something from this video, even if it was something small, just like a different way of thinking. I pray that you actually take this and think about, if you have been dealing with things coming upon you such as anxiety. I pray that this helps you and that you can take something from this to use in your daily life, whether it's a small point or a big point. And if it doesn't help you, share this with someone who you know deals with anxious thoughts or does get tense in certain situations so that they can see this and know that they're not the only person dealing with those kind of thoughts and those kind of feelings, because there's multiple people dealing with it. Like me, I was once dealing with it. But I just ask that you all stay safe, stay blessed. You all enjoy the rest of your night. God bless.